Hi, it's Anna here. Thanks for tuning in. So, a big part of this channel and what I'm all about is to remind people that they are very powerful. We are powerful creator beings. And on my journey, on my awakening journey, what I've realized is that powerlessness is actually a core wound in humanity. And it's a program that's been pushed on us since we were born. Just viewing us as a coincidence of nature, some sort of anomaly that just came about out of nowhere, that we are completely alone in the universe. Part of this is that this is what we are currently born into in this phase of evolution of Earth. We are born into this, what we call this separation consciousness. To me, separation consciousness is just a feeling inside, right? You feel disconnected from your own soul. You feel disconnected within. And once you are born, because society is set up in a way where everyone has forgotten and all the knowledge has been lost, this programming gets reinforced throughout our lives. That we are at the mercy of nature, that we are really a speck in the universe with no meaning. And that couldn't be further from the truth. But we are born into this, and so it's a very powerful program that we actually have to work to remove. And when we awaken, part of this awakening journey, part of this ascension journey, is to come back to the knowing that we are powerful creator beings. So what happens is that when we get awoken, I've mentioned before that a big part of this journey is to come to see reality exactly as it is. And it can be very scary at times, and it can create a lot of fear and grief, because it's important to actually become aware of all the manipulations and inversions that we are dealing with. It's a big part of the inner work process to actually align to truth on the outside. And you need to actually see that there is evil in the world, that we are being manipulated, that it's not really a fair game. But, and that's a big but, we shouldn't be using this knowledge to give up, to throw in the towel and to feel even more powerless. We should use this knowledge to empower ourselves. And so that's why in the truth community, I feel like a big part of the problem is that they are aware of truth on the outside, but what's missing is a key component, which is actually doing the inner work to align with truth on the inside. It can't be just one or the other. It has to be both. That's the balance. And when you do that inner work of reconnecting slowly with your soul, right, building that muscle that makes you connect more and more within, which is actually what people talk about when they talk about the going from separation consciousness to unity consciousness to oneness. It's all happening within you. It's going from feeling disconnected, even though we actually never disconnected. It's just that we're not consciously connected. So it's consciously coming back to that connection and building that muscle, so you really feel more and more connected, more and more embodied. And you come to this place where you come to a place of wholeness. You unify with your soul. It comes to be like a co-creative process where it's the lower self and the higher self working together. It's you. It's all you. When Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is within you, this is all within you, because when you do that work, when you do the real inner work of reconnecting within, you come to actually tap into a completely different field. And this is what people have called God. I like to call it the harmonic field, but it's basically, to me, it's an alignment to truth with a capital T. And truth is harmony. And so you tap into a different field, and you actually start seeing it in your life, where the more work you do on yourself, the more inner work you do, the more you navigate this journey and actually rise in frequency, the more you actually see magic actually unfold in your life. Things that don't really make logical sense, it actually feels like magic. So this is a big core of this channel, and it's a core of my frequency, is to remind people of their power. that yes, when you get awoken, it can feel scary, it can feel like it's so much, because there's a mechanism that happens where all of your shadow will come up, everything will come up for purification and refinement. It's actually part of the process. But you should never give up. You should embody this spiritual warrior energy. You are a warrior. When you are embodied in your spirit, you are so powerful. Your frequency, as it rises, becomes untouchable. It really does. And so that's what I want to remind people, that yes, it's okay to go through phases on this journey, because it is a very tough journey where you doubt, where you're not sure anymore, where it just becomes too much. And you feel all of that, you release it. A lot of the fear has to be released out of our body. But you should remember that the matrix is not a location, it is a frequency. And you have the power to rise out of that. And all the power lies in you. It's all within you. And it's all about the inner work. And there is so much programming that is trying to feed that powerlessness core wound that we all have. And these energies that we basically have to fight against navigating this journey. A lot of it is so subtle at times. I feel like even the whole narrative of all of us being traumatized and having all these wounds, these are all just words, right? And it's just a word is neutral. But what I feel is like when you spend only just 5 minutes on social media, that narrative is pushed so hard on everyone, so that you feel like, oh my God, like I've been so traumatized and I'm this child who's just been abandoned and who basically doesn't have a chance. And that's not true. That's not true. Yes, there is the pain body that we have to navigate and that we have to purify and refine. We all have that to navigate. This is part of the inner work. But it doesn't mean that you can never heal your trauma. That's a big lie. It's not true. And you shouldn't take it on. There's a part of you that should fight against this narrative that's trying to infiltrate your thoughts. And because we all have that powerlessness core wound, that's why this energy is so easily affecting us. It's because it's feeding something that's real inside of us. So as you navigate this journey, you should remind yourself regularly, I am a powerful created being. I can do this. I am a warrior. I'm a winner. I can do this. And I can rise from anything sent my way. I have the power to rise from anything, no matter how much trauma or negativity they can send me. When I was a child, I was born into a very dysfunctional family. I was born with physical abuse, and I had these thoughts in my mind that were guiding me my entire childhood, and these words were, don't let them win. And this is the core of my frequency, this is the core of this channel. It's this: do not let them win. You are more powerful than anything. And this is the remembering that we need to come back to. And as you navigate this journey, you start feeling this. Especially if you look at the map of consciousness, when you start rising into the anger and the courage frequency, you start feeling it. Finally, you start feeling it. When you're lower than that, when you're into the fear, the grief, the apathy, the shame and the guilt, it's a lot harder to feel it. So you have to sort of force yourself. You have to remind yourself. And when you are into these very low density, low frequencies, one thing that can be very helpful is to always come back to self-love. Self-love is an energy that's so powerful. And talking to yourself, reminding yourself, I can do this. A lot of us are navigating this, and when we're not alone. This is a remembrance that needs to happen. I have a higher self, I have a soul, I have a spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, whatever resonates with you the most. I honestly don't care what words you want to use. You are not alone. There is an intelligence guiding you, even at times when you think you've been abandoned and you're all alone and nothing makes sense. There's always that intelligence guiding you. And it's our job to reconnect with that knowing and that remembrance. And it takes work, and it takes dedication, and it takes determination and effort. But it's always there. So I wanted to do this video to remind everyone we are not powerless. It's a very big program that we have to slowly unravel, and we need to pay attention and be mindful that there is this energy in the world, whether it's on social media, whether it's, you know, with people you interact with, that are going to try to pull at that wound, you know, to pull at that program, to try to prevent you from rising. And so you have to keep going. Yeah, so I'll say those words again. Don't let them win. That's the gist of this video. I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.